Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Is Hermes just as bad as Chanel? This is the type of comments that are left underneath my videos on my channel. I'm like, okay, let me highlight them. Let's talk about this. It's a really interesting comment, and I want to say thank you to grad student 91 for publicly commenting under my video this particular comment, and I'm going to read it to you. Why don't you ever comment on Hermes? We know Chanel has issues. People are literally making a one-for-one of Hermes. They're implying replicas. Their quality is not as good. If Instagram companies can create a one-for-one, they're implying that people on Instagram sell replicas. They are creating an illusion that they cannot be touched, and they are indeed being touched. Grad student, what kind of touched are we talking about here? Because, honey, you've been using the touched quite a bit in your comment. Now, somebody's thirsty towards the end of the year. I see December holiday month hit you hard. But no, on a serious note, well, as serious as we can get, talking about luxury giblets. On a serious luxury giblet note, I'm gonna answer you seriously. Yeah, you best believe I will. But first, subscribe to my channel. Push, the join button next to the subscription button. Push the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. And join me. Also on Patreon, superdacob, all spelled together there as well for extra perks. I live stream several times a week on my main channel, so come join the live chats as well. Hi to my co-chatters. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts, just my opinion. So I answered to grad student. I said, I made a ton of videos on Hermes. Just search for them on my channel, honey. So obviously my channel by now has over 2,000 videos plus. A lot of them are dedicated to Hermes. And I've never read a comment from grad student, from this user that has this username on my channel before, so I do believe that they're relatively new to my channel, or maybe it's of somebody who changed their profile name and maybe they've been on my channel already under a different username. Doesn't matter, irrelevant. Point is, for everybody who's new to my channel, hi, I talk about luxury fashion, art, culture, gosh, you name it, we can talk about it, really. Hermes, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, they're kind of dear to my heart. Vivienne Westwood, well, a lot of brands. Yohji Yamamoto. Anyway, we digress. I do talk about Hermes, and I do criticize Hermes as well. I have lately more praise than critique for Hermes, not because Hermes is particularly better than other luxury brands, but solely because they actually are getting into less shenanigans than other brands. Are they doing everything perfectly? No. I would not personally say that they are, but they have not been raising their prices like crazy lunatics scared that they're going to starve to death the next week if they don't raise the prices another 20% like Chanel has been doing during the pandemic. That was in very, very poor. I don't like to talk about taste when it comes to these things. You know what I think about the word taste in general, but it's just really, really, vulgar what Chanel did with their prices. But then look at the quality, my humble opinion at least. Their leather, oof, no. But Hermes did not push that far. Louis Vuitton pushed the LVMH. They also own Dior. They've been up in those prices. They've been kind of, shooting out those prices like there's no tomorrow, really. Also during the lockdown and the pandemic, and the more people would buy and the more they would raise their prices, but the quality wasn't following the raising of the price. I mean, it was just a mess. While Hermes in all of this, they kept it very minimal. They did not start overproducing, like these other brands started opening new boutiques, manufacturing even more. Let's do more. Let's sell more. Let's make even more money. Let's push up the prices. I mean, it's insane. I mean, Louis Vuitton at this point, it's like every week I see new posts on Instagram and on their website. Oh, here's a new collection and another new collection. And here's a new little capsule collection coming out. Like, you can't really enjoy anything anymore because there's no time. Same with Chanel. They do 10 collections a year. What does Hermes do? 2 collections a year. Maybe they have a cruise, a pre-show, whatever. They don't really advertise it. It's like, if you know, you know. It's very minimal. Very, very minimal, to the point every time I go to the Hermes, but maybe it's detrimental long-term to them. I don't know. I think they're playing a safe game here, because like every time I go to the Hermes boutique, in whichever country I'm in, because I travel a lot at the moment, it's always the same stuff since years. Now, this can also get quite boring, but I've come to the point where now, been there, done that 1,000 times, fashion is playing it very safe. All of these brands that kind of have this kind of like, we're getting more and more expensive with every season. Look at us pushing the boundaries. I'm like, what boundaries are you pushing, boo-boo? It's sad to see. Most of these brands are just copying and pasting what others have done and have done better in the past. While Hermes, very humble. They're like, you know, horse riding gear, sportswear. Our chic and our mystique is rooted in sports gear. We don't have this delusion that we're going to innovate fashion for you guys. We're not going to create these over-the-top editorial red carpet moments like these other brands think that they're doing. We're going to keep it very minimal, very simple. And we're going to keep doing what we know how to do best. We're not going to overproduce. We're going to keep producing the same amount. And when they upped their prices last year, well, at the beginning of this year, that was the Hermes price increase, not like Chanel or Louis that did several price increases a year. When Hermes did their price increase, they made it very clear that their sales were very good the year before, and that they are allowed to give an extra bonus to all their workers, something you never heard Chanel say publicly, or LVMH for that matter, and that they're going to raise the salaries of their employees in 2023. And so they're raising their prices. I think that's commendable. And when they raised their price in 2023, it was not a 20% price increase like Chanel does several times a year. Well, Chanel does from 7 to 20%, actually even 25% in some cases, depending on which product category. Several times a year. They used to do it during the pandemic. Like vulga. And Coco Chanel always used to say, the opposite of poverty, the opposite of vulgarity, what did she say? The opposite of luxury is not poverty. The opposite of luxury is vulgarity. And the Chanel brand was pushing vulgarity for quite a while. Now they stopped because they're selling less, you see. So now their price increases are not there anymore as high. Thank goodness for that. But Hermes, they upped their price beginning of 2023. That's the one time they did it, and they did it with a very specific explanation. Our workers are going to get more money, you know. And they're still keeping it very simple, you know. You don't enter an Hermes boutique to see the latest Cruise Los Angeles Barbie collection. It's not going to happen. It just isn't going to happen. I respect that very much. But another thing I respect very much about Hermes, they fought, I don't know if you know this, guys, but several years back, well, quite a few years back, apparently LVMH, Mr. Bernard Arnault, Bernie, let's call him good old Bern, the Bern. He tried a sneaky takeover of Hermes through the purchase of stock and communicate. Well, there's a whole story behind it. And allegedly every time any magazine or business magazine or whoever wants to interview him, if he grants an interview and if they ask him about his attempted takeover of Hermes, he refuses to comment. I guess it's a little bittersweet moment for him because he failed. It's one of the rare times where allegedly he failed at a sneaky, subversive takeover of another brand. He wanted, allegedly, to take over Hermes. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged. Thumb up the video. Subscribe, by the way, means the world to me and to the algorithm of this ratchet channel. He failed. Hermes then changed their internal business rules to consolidate even more their independence and to make sure that this hostile takeover cannot happen again. A lot happened. There was also internal feuds and fights within the house of Hermes. and the family split up, and one part of the family, in particular one person from the family, wanted to sell the stakes and kind of be done with it, and other family members did not want to. So it was a whole battle internally. They even kept that on the lowdown, although if you look for it, you can find quite a few details about what went down. Coincidentally, one of these family members now adopted their gardener, their 51-year-old gardener, and wants to make them heir to everything they own. But that is a topic for another video. Be sure to check out my Hermes gives it all to their gardener video, also on my channel. That's another doozy. But long story short, I have also heard news lately of people, especially during the pandemic, saying, oh, I managed to score from the Hermes boutique, a Birkin or a Kelly. The leather is not the best like it used to be in the past, but, you know, some people really love it's still light years better, in my opinion, than with Chanel. I mean, just a year ago, I purchased from the Hermes boutique while I was traveling at an airport, a lambskin, a Misor lambskin Aline bag in black leather. That lambskin is, I mean, butter. Butter. Chanel could never. And I have Chanel lambskin bag. It's just not, they're light years away. So let's just say it this way. If Hermes leather loses in quality currently, we're talking, it used to be up there and now it's here. Chanel used to be here and now it's like, where did you go? Chanel, where did you go? You fell off the cliff. You see what I'm talking about? Like, you can't compare. So there's that to mention as well. So yes, even though people might be saying, well, you know, the leather isn't the same anyway, they're still very honest. The sales associates at Hermes, because you know me and my big mouth, I address these issues. I have no problems whatsoever, to be honest, with the sales associates in the boutiques. So when I was traveling for my movie premiere, Art Lovers Unite, with Vivienne Westwood and Patrick J. Thomas in Melbourne, at the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival, I went to the Hermes boutique and I spoke to the sales associate and I said, so what's up with these kind of rumors about your leather, you know, diminishing in quality? He's like, oh, let me tell you very honestly and frankly, several issues are happening with Hermes leather quality. This is an Hermes sales associate being thorough, honest, and to the point with me. Ask a Chanel sales associate to be honest to you about the leather issues that they're having. Good luck. Good luck. I'll sit here and wait till you come back and tell me what that Chanel sales associate told you about their leather. If they even know what leather they're selling you. Because I've dealt with some Chanel sales associates, they don't even know the difference between lambskin, goatskin, you know, sheepskin, the caviar, the aged calf skin, the distressed calves. Now, back to the Hermes sales associate who told me, here are a few points that are important for Hermes to let our clients know. He says, 1, we want to be as sustainable as possible. We take the hides, when we're talking leather, not exotics, we're talking, you know, cow, lamb, sheep, whatever. We want the hides from the animals that actually get eaten. A lot of our clients have become vegan and vegetarian. There's way less meat eaters today than there used to be in the past. So there's less leather. Isn't that interesting? Second point, the way that the food is being manufactured for these animals has changed. The quality of the food, even if you're going to buy premium quality food, there's still some sort of chemical component in there that was not there in the 80s and in the 90s and in the 70s. So basically, the nutrients that a lot of these animals are receiving contribute to a certain quality of hides and leather, which is just not the same as it used to be in the past. More rigorous, you have to see it also this way, more rigorous laws are set in place. What people, animals are allowed to be fed, even in perfumery. We see it all the time with IFRA regulations. And you can't put the oak moss in the perfume, and you can't put the civet in the perfume, and you gotta take an artificial synthetic substitute for this ingredient. This is now considered an allergen. This is now considered poisonous, but it wasn't in the 80s and in the 90s. Things were more natural back then. Now things are becoming more and more synthetic. You can blame the pharmaceutical industry because you could say they're lobbying to push their artificial ingredients forth and make natural ingredients illegal. Why would the pharmaceutical industry do that? Simple. They can't patent products found in nature. You can't put a patent on a natural product, but you can put a patent on your synthetic substitute of the natural product. So what's the next best thing? Lobby with the politicians, make the lawmakers change the law, and make them make natural products illegal so that you can sell them the patented synthetic substitute. A lot of these animals are being fed this shit. So the hides are different in quality as well. And then we can talk about all the preparation and the working on these leathers and how they're done and made and manufactured. And do you want to go cheap on the products that you utilize or not? But then also the raw materials to do that have changed. The chemical components of certain products have also changed. Why? Again, because certain components are now not legal anymore, or are, that haven't been in the past, and so on and so forth. So you see where we're going with here. That sales associate was so well informed about the state of affairs with their leather and was so open to me about it that I have never experienced in another luxury shop or boutique such honesty. Not just honesty, but also so well-informed details from a sales associate. Other brands can be more or less honest. I've encountered some wonderfully honest Louis Vuitton sales associates that have told me openly, Dacob, I'm so sorry, our leather, it just ain't it anymore. But they could not explain to me why. But Hermes could explain to me why. So this is why I say Hermes is better. It's not the best, it's not the end-all be-all of luxury leather goods. But it does make me feel safer buying there than buying a leather good elsewhere. Same with certain, other luxury products really from them. So this is fascinating. Leslie says fascinating in the chats. There you go. Yori says, it's the same for all animal feeds. I stopped giving my dogs certain foods many years ago. Home cooking with vegetables and meats cooked every day. It's really only a day of prep to portion the food as well. Well, there you go. I can tell you. So Despina says the Taurillon leather is not so bad at Louis Vuitton. I can tell you from personal experience with the Vaqueta leather, it's not as buttery, soft, and kind of glossy as it used to be also in the early 2000s. Now, one handle is more tight, the other handle is a little bit porous, of the Keepall, of the Speedies. They're all... It's a different quality, and there's no consistency. There used to be consistency. Now there just isn't anymore, and you got to learn to live with it. Now, do I think that they should up their prices in a situation where the quality isn't the same anymore? They don't really care. Why? Well, because you have to see it this way. Newer clients, younger clients, they don't really know. They don't have a comparison. They weren't there 20 years ago. We're talking young clients that just discovered the brand, right? They don't have a direct comparison to how it used to be. They only have the reality of the now. And now, that's the quality they encounter. Imagine the young people that discover the brand today. What they're going to say 20 years from now. Because for them, if they just encounter Louis Vuitton today, for them, this is the maximum quality. Because buying a new Louis Vuitton piece today, this is the quality you get. For me, the quality is much poorer than it used to be 20 years ago. I was shopping already 20 years ago at Louis, right? So I know I can compare. But the young people that are just starting now, they can't compare. Yes, you could buy vintage, but then with vintage, you never know. Did somebody treat the leather with is it a fake? Is it real? Blah, blah, blah. I'm talking really just discovering the brand new as is in the shops. Now imagine the people that discover the brand today thinking that the average standard of quality today is the maximum. And then 20 years from now, when they start saying that the quality is starting to lack, and if we old timers are still alive by then, we're going to be saying, you think this, 20 years in and like the quality is poor now. Already 20 years ago, the quality was terrible. So it's really funny how everything is kind of in relationship to your personal experience as well, and what your limit for a standard of quality is to you, right? And so this person telling me, kind of accusing me in a weird way, like in the comments saying like, why don't you ever talk about Hermes? Here you go. I spoke about Hermes. Now you know a bit more. You're welcome. And are they the best? No. Are they perfect? No. Do I love them? Yes. But guess what? I also love Chanel. I also love Louis. I want them to do good. I want them to be successful. I get, take all the billions you want to the bank with your dividends. Be rich. I really don't care. What I care for, the pieces that have some sort of heritage, connection to history, to the makers and the founders of these brands that worked really hard, came from nothing. Coco Chanel came from nothing and built an empire, just to be very clear. So it's not like these people that created these brands were rich to begin with. Not all of them were. Some were, but not all of them were. And I think these brands deserve better. Of course, we as a client, of course we deserve the best. For sure. It goes without saying. You guys, come on. But what I want to say is also these brands deserve better. They deserve more respect from the people milking these brands for whatever they're worth. The CEOs, the marketing baboons that are sitting behind the scenes like, running to the bank with their pockets full. They're destroying these brands. These brands are not just greedy monsters. They weren't in the past. Sure, they were luxury brands from the get-go. They were meant to make money, but there was a certain pride connected to manufacturing products. They were proud of their products. Now it seems like the only thing they're proud of is scamming you into getting as much money as possible for the least amount of shit that they give you in return for your money. And this is why I say that these brands also deserve better. They do. They deserve more love and attention from the inside. I'm not talking about you, the consumer. I'm not saying you owe the brand anything. You don't owe the brand zilch. I'm talking about from the inside. The brands deserve better. The people that are puppeteering the brands, it gots to go. That greedy baboons gots to go. We need people inside of these brands that actually love the brand for what it is and are really, returning to owning that pride of the brand and being proud of delivering a product that is at the level and at the height that brand deserves. Because right now, honey, no, we're just not there. We're just not there. That's what I wanted to say. They can all do better, but some of them are doing better than others, while others yet are doing worse than others. Hermes has my respect. Chanel has my desperation. I desperately want to love all of it, but I just can't at the moment. There are factions that I love and factions that I cannot. Louis is losing me more and more, but, then again, let's see how this all evolves. Of course, there are also other brands to talk about, but these are kind of, this is the epitome. This is the Olympus of those luxury mass-released brands. What are we talking about here? We're not talking niche right now. The comment was very specific about Hermes and Chanel. So that's why I delivered this little parenthesis. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, thumb it up, subscribe to my channel. And until next time, never forget to never give up on love. I'll see you all soon in my next video. You know, stay chirpy and perky, all right? Love you loads. And I'm going to say goodbye with this little Hermes crop that I've had for over 13 years now. And I've used quite a bit over the last decade. Look what good shape this leather is still in. Not peeling. Love you loads. Mwah. Bye.